And right now, the economy is ailing under the Biden-Harris administration. I mean, people are just ailing. They're suffering. Yes, inflation has come down, but cumulative price hikes are still eating away at people's pocketbooks. And people
What are you going to do about cumulative prices? Is Trump's not going to do anything about it. Trump's already said he's probably not going to be able to bring prices down, but they won't care.
Dying for a change. So this is, I think we're about to embark on an entirely new era of prosperity. I certainly hope so. And yeah, you can just feel it. Even in the last couple of weeks, Americans are celebrating that Trump's approval rating is incredibly high. People are in support of his transition.
What are the numbers on this? What are people citing when they say his approval rating is incredibly high?
The momentum is just tremendous. And I'm speaking as a Democrat, and I'm feeling it as well.
Well, you know what? Also, as a Democrat.
I'm speaking as a Democrat.
You probably could acknowledge that the party seemed to have been given, let's just say it for what it is, a bit of an edge, especially as it relates to Google. You know, the way that they manage their search engines. You're going to have their CEO go over there to Mar-a-Lago and basically try to state his case. How concerned do you think that
That's a member of the DNC? Yep. She was on the, she was either on or she was the chair of the finance committee. Hold on. Oh, wait, is that not true? No, wait. She was born in China. That doesn't mean anything, though. I'm seeing ghosts or zebras or something. She served on the, or no, wait, as the woman's co-chair and Mid-Atlantic regional chair at the Democratic National Committee. Okay, so I'm sure this probably goes up and down for regional stuff, but yeah, she's part of the DNC.
Tech giants might be of a Trump presidency moving forward. Especially, I understand if you're a Democrat, you're probably like, hey, great, we've gotten sort of the breaks, as it were. How concerned, though, should they be about a Trump presidency?
I think the tech world is loving the fact that Donald Trump's going to be the next president. Really? He's really embraced crypto, and he's saying that he wants the United States to be the crypto capital of the world. In the meantime, Biden and Harris, they're clamping down on crypto, and it's a booming industry. People are upset. You know, this is their livelihood.
Yeah. Booming industry. Crypto. Super booming. Oh, my God. And they'll accuse Democrats of being out of touch with the common Americans while they talk about how important crypto is as an industry. Fucking kill me.
In the meantime, Biden and Harris, they're clamping down on crypto, and it's a booming industry. People are upset. You know, this is their livelihood. Yeah. Not to mention TikTok. You have all the millennials out there, you know, very, very upset.
Well, it's interesting that it sounds to me like there's this shift. We tend to think of big tech, especially in financial tech, as being sort of right, or make that left-leaning. Is there a shift to the right happening organically?
Kevin, that's such a great point. I don't think it's just the business world. I think it's across the country. People are fed up, and they realize that Biden and Harris, they lied to us for the past 4 years about the cognitive state of our president, and they failed on immigration. The expiration of Title 42 was the original sin. Millions of migrants poured into the country, and I am a naturalized immigrant myself.
Didn't the Supreme Court reject them bringing back Title 42? Title 42, I thought they tried to. Am I wrong on this? Beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic, the federal government began relying on a public health law known as Title 42 to quickly expel migrants seeking asylum. The Mexico and Canada borders on Thursday afternoon, the Supreme Court dismissed a dispute over that policy and whether a group of states with Republican attorneys general can step in to defend it. The justices sent the case. Arizona v. Mayorkas is back to the lower courts. The district dismissed the state's request as moot. That is no longer a live controversy after the policy itself expired on May 11th. Justice Gorsuch penned an 8-page statement regarding Thursday's order in which he complained not only that any crisis at the U.S.-Mexico border was not related to the COVID-19 crisis, but also about COVID restrictions and the government's efforts to exercise emergency powers more broadly. Okay.
Right happening organically?
Kevin, that's such a great point. I don't think it's just the business world. I think it's across the country. People are fed up, and they realize that Biden and Harris, they lied to us for the past 4 years about the cognitive state of our president, and they failed on immigration. The expiration of Title 42 was the original sin. Millions of migrants poured into the country, and I am a naturalized immigrant myself. I'm speaking as an immigrant. My family and I came here with $200. We never took a handout. We waited in line. We followed all the rules.
Wait, damn. I thought I read that she went to Princeton. Maybe she just had really good grades. Lindy Lee. They moved to Sheffield, England at age 3, and then immigrated with her family to the United States when she was 5. That's a lot of moving around. She attended the Agnes Irwin School, a private college prep day school for girls, graduated in 2008. Her father's a real estate executive. Lee has a younger brother named Jeffrey. In high school, Lee interned for Pennsylvania Congressman and 2020 presidential candidate Joe Sestak. Lee attended Princeton University and was elected class president at age 17. She became the first woman at Princeton to hold the position of class president for all 4 years. She wrote her senior thesis on the ethics of climate change legislation and graduated in 2012 with a philosophy degree. Okay. Lee previously served as the treasurer for the Pennsylvania Young Democrats from 2017 to 2020. She resigned the post after conflict with group leaders over her Twitter post critical of Bernie Sanders and his supporters. Lee alleged her resignation was a real-life example of bullying by Bernie bros. The club president denied this, saying that her resignation was voluntary. After the 2020 Super Tuesday primary elections, Lee appeared on Al Jazeera to debate Sanders supporter Linda Sarsour concerning which Democrat would be best to defeat Donald Trump. During this interview, Lee stated that she would not vote for Bernie Sanders if he became the Democratic nominee. Jesus. Alongside Aftab Pureval, the mayor of Cincinnati, Ohio, Lee co-chairs the Justice Unites, a super PAC, a multi-million-dollar political action committee that focuses specifically on increasing Asian American turnout across the country, particularly in battleground states. What did you say? My dad came here with $200 in his pocket? What? Because the rest was in his bank account? What?
A shift to the right happening organically?
Kevin, that's such a great point. I don't think it's just the business world. I think it's across the country. People are fed up and they realize that Biden and Harris, they lied to us for the past 4 years about the cognitive state of our president, and they failed on immigration. The expiration of Title 42 was the original sin. Millions of migrants poured in the country, and I am a naturalized immigrant myself. I'm speaking as an immigrant. My family and I came here with $200. We never took a handout. We waited in line. We followed all the rules. So for immigrants like me who became naturalized Americans, proud and grateful Americans, it's extremely upsetting that people are just flooding into the country willy-nilly.
So it's a
Came here, we followed all the rules. How did they immigrate so fast? Or would they, I don't even know what the line is or how long that would even take if they had no family here. Because they moved to England when they were 3, when she was 3, and then they managed to immigrate to the US when she was 5. Oh, they don't have too much background here. It would technically be even harder for her to get into those schools too, right? Because don't Asian people get fucked in test scores and shit? Or at least they used to. Jesus. Okay, whatever.
Linda, you said in an interview last month, because of the experiences you've had online, in particular with some Bernie supporters, you said that if he were to become the Democratic nominee, you said you would not vote for him.
Absolutely not.
So that means you would be
Jesus.
voting Trump, sitting at home?
I'm going to vote blue all the way down, except for president.
So you're okay with a second Trump term?
I'm absolutely not okay with it, but I'm also almost probably equally terrified and traumatized by the prospect of a Sanders presidency right now.
So to the point where you would be okay with a Trump second term?
I'm not okay with it.
Well, by definition, you would be if you
I'm fighting
didn't.
like hell to make sure that Biden is a nominee. So
Except that I'm asking a hypothetical, which I will also ask Linda. If it is Bernie Sanders a nominee, you will not vote for him,
No,
even
I'm
if it
not
means a
going
Trump
to.
second term. Okay, Linda, are you a Bernie or bust, as some people on the left say? Is it Bernie Sanders or no one else for you?
So this is the translation of what I got from what Lindy just said, is that she doesn't care that Donald Trump will be able to appoint Supreme Court justices over his next 4 years and literally take us back maybe 50 to 100 years. So that's what you're saying,
Thanks.
4 years, and literally take us back, court justices over his next 4 years, and literally take us back maybe 50 to 100 years. So that's what you're saying,
Thanks for
because you're
putting words
saying
in
that
my
you're
What
not
is
gonna
your
vote for
view,
the
Linda?
president.
Linda, what is your view? Are you Bernie or bust, as the saying goes?
I've never been Bernie or bust. I'm not going to lie to you. I might have drew the line at Michael Bloomberg, but I know what's more important. It's not about my little feelings. It's not about being selfish and self-righteous. It's about protecting our communities and protecting generations to come. And I would
It's
hope
not
that
about
someone
that
like
at all.
Lindy would be part of that movement, but I guess she's not.
But just to be clear, you would vote for Joe Biden if he's the candidate come November.
It would
But
be very
thank you
hard
for
for me,
throwing
Mehdi, but I
personal
would do the
attacks
right
my
thing.
way.
But I would do the right thing, because that is the right thing to do.
Okay. All right, sorry, back to this.
the rightward
Finishing
shift,
up.
both in tech and other areas too. Lindy Lee, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate your time this morning.
I'm Steve Doocy.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.
Okay, anyway.
Loving and caring and embracing of diversity. But all of a sudden, when I dare to utter any criticisms of the goddess, Kamala Harris, I get ostracized. Me, after having raised tens of millions of dollars for the party. And I'm being called a grifter when all along, all these years, I've said on TV, I've said to the press, I'm a conservative Democrat. This is not a switch for me. This is just me. This is who I've always been. And also, my donors are pissed. They raised $2.5 billion across Super PAC and the campaign. It's my responsibility. It's my duty of care to ask what the hell happened with that money? Why did we spend it? Why did we spend millions of dollars on five-star hotels for campaign staffers? Why did we spend $500,000 essentially bribing Al Sharpton moments before he interviewed Kamala? These are legitimate questions, but no, in the cult, you can't ask questions. And leaving the Democratic Party or even questioning the Democratic Party, it's like leaving a cult. It's
like, who believes this? Literally every single person. I hate that you can just speak these things into existence. Everybody on the left, all the Democrats and all the Democratic media are all questioning the Democratic Party. And also, you were part of these PACs and super PACs, and you were part of the DNC. What happened? Tell us. You're literally the establishment in every single way. You are literally the establishment. What happened? Who was responsible? What was going on? Tell us.
terrifying.
Yeah, Dave Rubin. I mean, that's actually really unpleasant to listen to, isn't it? I mean, the idea that that a woman who her only crime was to try and raise money for a pretty hopeless candidate, and obviously that didn't work. But the idea that immediately she raises criticism, legitimate and in my view entirely correct criticism of the party, she is abused in that kind of horribly misogynistic and disgusting manner. What does that tell you about where we are?
Sure. Well, I would say, Piers, we have a living, breathing example of that happening on this panel right now, which is that what she just illustrated there is a bunch of attacks on her character and her behavior. And
how did this lady even become such a political voice? Because she's a Democrat who had like a high Democrat position. Now she wants to shit on the Democrats. So it's just another why I left the left. Like Republicans love these why I left the left people, or MAGA or conservatives love these why I left the left people. You're like guaranteed like at least like at least 15 minutes of fame if you're willing to do a Why I Left the Left tour. And she's like having her moment right now for the past few weeks.
Which is that what she just illustrated there is a bunch of attacks on her character and her behavior and saying awful things, and you can describe them as misogynistic and all those things. Look at everything that Cenk just said to me. These are just attacks not on my beliefs, but on my character, which again, he couldn't illustrate one thing that I say that I don't believe. I came out.
Well, he brought up one example, which was over the gay firefighter stuff, but I don't think we ever addressed that because we just moved on, but okay. I think Cenk should bring that up, but...
Woke up very early to the excesses of the left, what we now know as wokeness. I came out against identity politics, and I wanted to return America to what it was founded on, which was individual liberty and judging everyone by the content of their character, not the color of their skin.
That's such a boring, like, what the fuck does that even mean? Like, what a brave policy position. Like, I'm pro-freedom and judging people based on the content of their character. Like, my God, you're so brave. What a brave individual. Like, how much courage do you think it took for him to say that? Good for you, dude.
Progressive.
You don't support identity politics? Good for you, man.
To what it was founded on, which was individual liberty and judging everyone by the content of their character, not the color of their skin. The progressive movement is wildly attached to something that brings...
A Q&A with Lindy Lee, an ex-wealth manager running for Congress. Lindy Lee, a former wealth manager with Morgan Stanley. Bro, how much more donor class can you get? What the fuck? To quote, make sure that everyone has access to the American dream, regardless of their gender or race or socioeconomic status, end quote. Lee, 27, says that she supports Medicare for all, debt-free college, and a ban on assault weapons. This was a conservative Democrat? In Pennsylvania? She's one of 10 Democrats in the primary for Pennsylvania's 5th District, which is largely based in Delaware County, but also includes parts of Philadelphia and Montgomery County. We asked her about that, President Trump's strikes on Syria, and the fact that she lives outside of the district, and more. 7 quick facts about Lee's agenda. Her plan to create jobs, raise the minimum wage, focus on job. Okay, very conservative. All right. Invest in vocational training. Okay. On a $15 minimum wage. Supports it, but I think it has to be somewhat incremental. Backs debt-free college. Legalize recreational pot immediately. National job guarantee. Supports it, but I want to make sure that we have a way to pay for it without blowing up the deficit. Super PACs. They should absolutely not be involved in this race. Wasn't she working for one 2 years later? Budget deficit, stop subsidizing our fossil fuel companies, our oil companies. Does she say conservative in here at all? No? Does she say progressive? Oh no! What did she say here? Wait. We're at 27:55. She says...
Kamala Harris. I get ostracized. Me, after having raised tens of millions of dollars for the party. And I'm being called a grifter when all along, all these years, I've said on TV, I've said to the press, I'm a conservative Democrat.
They don't care. I'm one of those creepy people that go around turning off lights. I'm what they call a tree-hugging progressive. But they did not care about anything other than revenue generation. I'm sure there's some good people there. I don't mean to have a blanket statement, but just from the people that I was exposed to, talking about her time as a wealth manager at Morgan Stanley. Like, this is all like this feels retarded. This is what I mean. I'd rather just like go fucking goon all day or go to back to school. Like, this is like this. Why? Like, who is this? Like, she should be excoriated. This is ridiculous. This is like some actual Chinese, like fucking some Chi-Com. My mom was more right than I realized. I missed her, I guess, on it. This is some Chinese communist shit. This is some fucking media infiltration. Fucking, she was rigging elections. She was rigging elections back at fucking Stanford. Or no. What was it? Princeton? Lee attended Princeton University and was elected class president at age 17. She became the first woman at Princeton to hold the position of class president for all 4 years. Stop the steal. Stop the steal. What's going on? That was their training ground. Bro, what the fuck?
This is not a...
I've been a conservative. Listen how strongly she says it. Like, I can understand if she says like, oh, I've been like a little bit more conservative, maybe. But like...
caring and any criticism after having raised tens of millions of dollars for the party. And I'm being called a grifter when all along, all these years, I've said on TV, I've said to the press, I'm a conservative Democrat. This is not a switch for me. This is just me. This is who I've always been.
Always.
And also, my donors are pissed.
This is not a real person. This is a fucking Chinese plant. This is a foreign adversary who's been injected into our political system, who is on some high-level infiltration. I don't believe it.
Is $2.5 billion across
to listen to, isn't it?
But on my character, which again, he couldn't illustrate one thing that I say that I don't believe. I woke up very early to the excesses of the left, what we now know as wokeness. I came out.
That was 6 to 8 years ago, though. The Democrats have changed a lot since then. You know that we were alive then, right? Like the average age of this stream is more than 9. You know that back then, Bernie Sanders was never considered the conservative pick. He was the far left pick for the Democrats always, right? You know that we remember this, right?
Against identity politics.